Hello, Substack friends and YouTube friends as well, because this video will be relayed from the Substack channel to the YouTube channel. And today I have with us a gentleman from Uganda, the Jinja, Uganda, which is on the River Nile, north of the capital city of Kampala. And Muwonge, Augustine, welcome to our Substack, Muwonge.
It is an honor to be here with you, bro.
Yes, and it's an honor for me to be here with you as well. And I'm just going to ring my Tibetan bowl here because it gives a nice vibration, frequency. It's like a little prayer, sonic prayer. And I believe you're a very spiritual person too, so it'll be fitting.
I understand that.
So, I've been in touch with a few of your countrymen, Ugandans, and my sister actually lived in Uganda for 5 months a few years ago.
Yes.
So, I believe from our previous conversation several months ago or weeks ago that you are very much engaged with encouraging young people in your community um, to have hope about the future and to prepare themselves for a life of service. And could you just talk a little bit about that, your motivation, I guess, for what you do?
Yeah. It is something that I didn't start loving or I didn't start my career, doing, but you know, you have to go through something that puts you somewhere. And then when life puts you somewhere, you really understand and try to figure out and learn a lot of things that will help you to, lead people in a certain way. Like for my case, I'm leading people, like young people, into that mentorship, just showing them the way to go. When I was a young man, I didn't focus so much on, having a social impact and just having a focused life. I was only just focusing on, how do I get rich? How do I get resources and, just enjoy life. And
Sure. Yeah.
so
So
God didn't.
what was it
Uh-huh.
that brought about the change in you? That
So I tried that and it didn't work out. And, God has a way of, changing your life. So he, I tried everything and suddenly things didn't work out the way I wanted. You remember in the first place, I ran away from home and left this village and went away for a few years. So I was looking for those things that I told you earlier.
yeah.
And suddenly things didn't work out. That's when I came back.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, God showed me a way. And it's the same thing I'm doing, like telling the young people to, like, if you devote your life in God, or if you devote your life in looking for something that's not selfishness,
Mm.
God can lead you in that direction and
Mm.
change your life. And ultimately, when He changes your life, you want to share to your fellow, brothers and sisters, especially for me
Yeah.
from this community. I'm
Uh-huh.
very passionate about this community because it all started here. This is where you acted stubborn and decided to run away, and
Mm.
everybody was noticing that. They saw that.
I see.
And
Yeah.
suddenly they saw you come back with a changed mindset and all of that. That's kind of what inspired me
You
to.
mentioned God a few times already, and I believe you're a practicing Christian. So it reminds me a little bit of the prodigal son. You know that story in the Old Testament
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
the young man who goes off and he parties and has a good time. He wastes all his money and his energy and so on. He comes back humbly. The father still invites him to come back to the home and prepares a feast for him. And that sort of represents the changing of his path. Was it something like that with you?
It really wasn't something like that in the first place because I came back here in 2017, and things look like, man, there is no hope here.
Mm.
It wasn't until 2021 July when a few things kind of clicked. I had a few three dreams that put me on YouTube, and then I did a video called
Yeah,
Five Practical Ways How
you
to Be a Blessing.
mentioned to me when we had our conversation before about two or three dreams that sort of led you to what you're doing now. Would you like to share that briefly with the people, the dreams?
Yeah, that's something that really have a hard time trying to summarize that in 3 minutes because of the 20 minutes that we have here. But I'll try to summarize. I had three dreams. The first dream, I had a microphone and I was speaking to uncountable numbers of people, and they were like chanting me for what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
That was dream one. And then the second dream, I dreamt about, a guy called Steve Harvey. He was on some community with me, and I asked him, "You guy, I've seen you somewhere on TV and you were in your suit.
Yeah.
What are you doing here in this village?" And he said, "There was a man here. We're teaching video, how to do videos and stuff." So in a dream, I spent the whole day with Steve Harvey on that community, wherever we were. As I was seeing him and the crew, he came with like 10 people who were all following him, cameras
Yeah.
and all of that. And they taught that man how to capture video.
Right.
And the third dream, uh, I saw Obama was like on the lectern.
Yeah.
I was the cameraman of the function that day.
Huh.
And somebody I knew, my relative, was up there with Obama, was being given a medal, and I was shooting videos so I could show my people.
Right.
So those are what I call three dreams for my father God. And ultimately, after that, I went to church and people helped me interpret that, but it was kind of difficult. But finally, I opened up the YouTube channel and I did a video. So that's where you want to know, like the turning point. After doing the video, remember, I had disappeared. People didn't know me. Muwonge disappeared. So I came back with that video. The video trended so much. And then they started to invite me, like on birthdays, on little functions, come and speak to the young people.
Yeah. And what do you speak about?
I was just speaking about what is in my heart. I'm a counselor, right? I had that base.
Counselor? What kind of counselor?
I'm still on that level where you counsel anybody, but my interest is in adolescents and young people, and then couples. That's where my interest is. But then,
So counseling,
you know,
not so much like a lawyer or an
no,
attorney, but more like a therapist counseling, helping
exactly.
them
Yes.
with some advice maybe or some understanding. Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, God has blessed me with that. When people invite me, you think about what you're going to do. Like, who are these people? What age group are these people? And then you figure out whatever message God will speak to you, and then you go and share to the young people. So that's how it started to happen. And eventually, uh, there was something that I felt in my heart.
Mhm.
I really want to help my fellow young Africans. And one day I talked about that. Alan came and then we started the mentorship program.
Right. Well, it's interesting. Those three dreams, there seems to be a progression towards a technological vehicle for your work. Like the first one, there's an event where there are a lot of people and they're singing and talking and you're part of it. You're there. In the second one, it goes to another step where um, Harvey, what's his name?
Steve Harvey.
Steve, yeah, Steve Harvey. I've seen him many times on TV. Yeah, he's quite the personality. So he's there, and he's got his crew, his audio-visual crew, and they're actually producing a program. So, and you're talking to him, and he's sort of mentoring you. And then by the third dream, you're already the cameraman, or you're helping out in the technological production of an event, including Barack Obama.
Yes.
So, so yeah, so the people in the dream become more and more prominent as you go along, and your involvement in the technological, what do you call it, the relaying of the information becomes more prominent as well. So it really was like opening a box, right? A discovery of purpose of something maybe that was waiting for you.
Yeah, I just have been, every time I get a chance to share, I just get new revelations that this little boy that
Yeah,
I was asking Steve that who is this little boy?
right.
It seems I was that little boy. And then after the last dream, that little boy that was taught by Steve Harvey was already doing the job when he was filming Obama giving a Guardian a medal.
Exactly right. You don't waste any time. You get right down to business, eh? Well, that's pretty interesting. Um, a lot of people these days, maybe always it wasn't this way, but I'm alive now and I talk to a lot of people, and many people seem to be kind of lost and without a lot of hope. Um, I think many people are hopeless. It's just that they're perhaps too ashamed to admit it to their families, especially if they have children and a family. They go through the motions, they go to work, whatever they have to do to survive, but inside, in their heart, in their mind, they're depressed and without a lot of hope about the future. So it's sort of exciting when an individual has a kind of epiphany or a spiritual experience of some kind, which is an opening of the consciousness and also an indication of purpose or direction. And it sounds like, you were chosen, you might say. You mentioned God a lot. So, I mean, some people don't even believe in God, or they don't use God so much as a reference point. But when you say that God made this happen, or God helped you, or God showed you, how do you understand that when you mention the word God or the name God? What's that
Yeah, for
experience for
me,
you? Yeah.
you know, God speaks to hearts and your consciousness. There
Mhm.
was something that happens to you and you really feel in your conscious that this wasn't me. You
Yeah.
get like uh, June 2021 in June, the dreams happened around that time.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
was a lady who was teaching a book called Masterclass.
Yeah.
I had prayed way back, like from 2017. I was a grown up man back on the community. My fellow youths that had left, they were way more, like many steps ahead of me.
Hmm.
And here I am, just, confused, don't know what I have to do.
Yeah.
And then I prayed from 2017 to 2021. But it happened, we were learning about something that's called breaking strongholds. That is something that I really remember. Breaking strongholds. Strongholds are small areas in your life where Satan has advantage of.
Okay.
Let's say you're a great prayer warrior, you're doing so much for the Lord, and then you have a small thing, let's say in your heart, when people get good stuff, you're the one that feels jealous about those people. So
Uh,
no matter what you do, that thing in your life is gonna keep as a stronghold.
yeah. Yeah.
So no matter how you pray, it's gonna hinder you. And
Yeah.
I believe at that time, when that lady told that I was the interpreter, it really went through my life and it kind of changed me. And I remember when I even got on YouTube and all that, I was invited to go to a friend of mine's church in Kenya. And I was telling young people about how to break strongholds,
I see.
because after breaking strongholds, that is when you fully experience
Right.
all these things, God speaking to you, and you really feel like, yes, this is something
Okay.
that I'd never experienced before.
Okay, so strongholds. So to use a different kind of language, a lot of people these days, they're not, as I mentioned before, so God referenced. Like some people might call it the ego. It's the selfish part, or the part that is afraid or isolated or separated, that becomes envious or jealous and those kinds of things. So to break a stronghold or to break the ego, maybe it's the same thing. What is your advice, or what do you, when you're counseling the young people and or other people in your country, in your community, and you're helping them
Mm.
to learn how to break their particular strongholds? What's your method or your modus operandi?
So I know, like, particularly the people on this platform that don't believe in God, and whatever you believe in, I know there was ways that really matter, ways that lead to the right way. For example, no matter what you believe in, when somebody gets something and you're feeling jealous about them, there was something in you telling you, man, that's not right.
Uh,
So it's all about doing what is right. So for the young people, I tell them, even when you don't believe in nothing, you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you don't go to any belief, you just have to do what is right in everything, every day. Look in your life. Where am I going wrong? What am I doing wrong in my life? Until you really search your heart and find out those little, because they're like spots, right?
right. Okay. So
Spots, let's say
hold on,
you're,
hold on for a second. Excuse me for interrupting, but I do that sometimes just to keep the momentum going. Um, so on one hand, do what is right. Okay. In every society, even from town to town in the same country, you could have a different set of laws and what's right, what's wrong, what you're allowed to do, what you're not supposed to do. So there's that, an external kind of set of rules or laws. And then what you seem to talk about also was what we sometimes call the conscience. You said, there's, if you are being like, we'll use the example of being envious of somebody else's success, and it has that kind of like there's a little nasty feeling to it. And so if you notice that, if you're mindful enough to notice that you have that quality in you, that negative quality, then you listen to your conscience, and your conscience is saying, no, this is not right. This is not good. You need to be different. So so is it a combination of your own inner conscience that sort of guides you a little bit, plus the something like the Ten Commandments for Christians, which is a set of laws that you sort of put those two
I
lists?
think I think it's more of the inner feelings, inner heart. Like, it is things that you and the one you believe in that is unseen
Right.
knows. It's not about people, things people on the ground know. I could be envious about you and your new car and your wife, your beautiful wife, and whatever good stuff that you have. And you never actually get a chance to know that I'm envious about that.
Mhm.
It's just me in my heart.
Right.
And whatever we feel in our hearts, it's going to damage us. So it hinders our progress.
Right.
It just checking your heart. What are you thinking? Where are your thoughts?
Mhm.
Where are your emotions? What are the things that you value, the things that you fear, the things that you don't fear? It's just about helping your heart think or do what's right. It's invisible things that are
So,
unseen,
so
but again, carry strong points.
next question. I'm a bit of a detective. I like to unpackage things and go a little bit deeper because I'm hungry for the truth, right? So, in order
Mm.
to be able to be uh, to listen, to hear the sound, the voice of our conscience. Like some people are so stressed out, they're so busy, there's so much drinking and running around, and that they don't hear the voice. They have a conscience, but they don't hear it. So, what can we do to prepare ourselves to be mindful enough to notice and to listen, to be able to actually hear that voice of the conscience?
Ah, man, it takes training.
It takes
Yeah,
takes what?
it takes training. And for me, I'm just going to tell you from
Training.
my uh, spiritual perspective and my psychological perspective.
Great, great. Go ahead.
In, in psychology, as a counselor,
Mm,
I believe we have the power. Every human has the power to heal, to stop every problem that is going on in their minds. Because that many of the problems eating all humans, it is something with the mind.
mhm.
So this has to do with yourself, with your mind. Sit down, help yourself, meditate, think about yourself, like just get some time off everything and then start to write down things around your life, the things that you might have done to people, things you might have wronged yourself, like things that have just been happening in your life.
Right. Yeah.
It takes time, but again, you need a person, another extra person to help you if you cannot help yourself.
It's very good to have a counselor or a therapist, a psychotherapist, or sometimes an institution even that you trust, and that because left to our own devices, sometimes this is again going back to the level of the mind, we have illusions and delusions. We don't necessarily see things the way they really are, but sometimes based on our own early experience and the trauma that we might have had as a child, even inherited trauma from our ancestors, we have a perspective of reality, but it's not necessarily clear and what really is happening. So that's why it's good to have another person that's just trained and mature and compassionate and non-judgmental, to help that process of listening to the inner voice, or listening to God, you could call it this, um, listen to the voice of God or the voice of the conscience. So things like meditation can help, and or prayer, journaling, like you were suggesting, writing things down, or the dreams
Yes.
themselves. A lot of times we receive guidance in a dream. There'll be a symbol there. So if we can, in the morning, first thing, write it down before we forget, and then
Yeah.
collect those symbols, sometimes a whole story will emerge that represents our life journey, our hero's journey, and maybe indicate the next step.
Yeah, it's a lot that can be dived into. It just starts with whoever's watching this video.
Mm.
I know a lot of people are lost. Others find where to go, and others never find where to go, even up to 70, even until they die. They never get a chance.
Absolutely.
So it is a blessing when you get a chance to search yourself and know what you're supposed to do. And it leaves you a smiling man, a free man. I'm a free man. I'm smiling. Like I kind of made a few things there, but I'm just doing the job that was assigned to me.
Thank you.
Hold the mic, speak to people, uh, encourage people,
Mhm.
and then share the dreams for my father. Do videos like I'm doing with you. I probably need to do like more holding the camera than I should be, on
Sure.
this video. But
Well, I know you have a YouTube channel, and I would encourage you also to maybe start a Substack. It's easy, and they help you. There's all kinds of resources so that your message could go out to a bigger audience.
on Substack.
Substack, it's called, yeah. Yeah. That's what we're going to be on now. I'm just making the recording, and then later I'll transfer it to the Substack and add a few words. Speaking of which, if somebody in Jinja, your hometown, or in Uganda, or anywhere in the world, in Canada, uh, wants to watch your videos or know more about what you're doing in the world, what would you suggest? Is there a website perhaps, or a special YouTube video that people could watch? And if there is,
Yeah,
I can add it underneath the video once I post it.
yeah.
You can
I
let
think like
you can let me know, and then I'll just write it in so that if somebody wants to contact you or just educate themselves a little bit more in the way that you serve, they can click on it and get more information.
okay, just maybe in a minute. I know there's people who are following you, and you have some genuine people who are following you, and they look
Yeah,
out for the knowledge and
great
to hear
people.
stories from ordinary people like me.
Yeah.
Uh, I just want people to understand it's something I've been pushing that, you know, humans have a limit.
Mhm.
We have a limit, but there's some things that God really does in our lives, and we really, no matter what we believe, people shouldn't like forget that God is real and He exists, and if you search Him, you will find Him. But the problem is there was some reminder I got last month that if you don't fully surrender to Him, you will not see Him.
Mhm.
It took me 5 years. If I didn't fully surrender myself into like after
Oops, we've lost the we've lost your voice there for a minute. Hi, folks. We just had a little disconnection there. Here we are again, folks. I'm with Muwonge, Augustine, from Uganda. We just had a little blackout there, a connection that happens sometimes. So we were sort of coming back to the barn, uh, winding down a little bit. And I just wanted to circle back a little bit around what you mentioned, the transformation from heading towards a life filled with self-interest and ego, and transforming that into a life oriented towards service to other people. It seems like a beautiful thing if you can help to administer to people in your community or your congregation, I suppose, young people especially. Um, so, what do you see as the next steps for you in your service?
there was something that I have been working on here. Like these young people, we've been together, like mentoring them for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm working on something. I wanna leave a resource center here where that will stay for these young people to come and learn from here, study like different skills other than the mentorship, like study computer, learn a few agricultural skills, poultry stuff, and just know that, oh, this is something that one of us who just had the same background as we has done, and it is here.
Mm,
It is something that you can look at and just have no excuse to give up
right.
in life.
Well, it can be very convincing sometimes to be an animator, public speaker. Um, so if you have a story, which you do, of your own personal transformation coming from a place of despair, perhaps, uh, things were winding down for you, end of the road, your dreams were not coming true, and I guess you felt frustrated and disappointed, perhaps in life or in yourself, and then that was able to turn around for you. And look at you today. So by telling that story over and over again, I'm sure that goes a long way towards inspiring younger people. So they see you with confidence and well spoken, and they think, oh, well, if he could do it, maybe I can do it too.
Yeah. And recently I got a chance to speak it to I think it was over 500 young people.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think they were spending, like they laughed a lot and they couldn't believe that I was the one sharing the story.
Yeah. So I want to ask a little question, a little bit different, but um, each country, each nation, each people has its soul and its personality. Canada, Germany, France, Nigeria, Uganda, and the qualities are different. The culture is different, the history, the race, sometimes the religion, the politics. So many things are different. The climate. So, what would you say in your country, Uganda, would be the qualities that are the most helpful when they're going to be contributed to the international community of nations as the people of the world come together? What are the Ugandans going to bring to the table that's unique, perhaps, or special?
Uh, I haven't gone so much deep into that, but just with a little experience that I have, I think that authenticity, uh, the people who are very passionate about sharing stories that are real,
Mhm.
and they're very effective doing that. If you can do that, go out there in the world, share the stories that are happening here, genuine stories, stories that are changing. I think Canada, America, Germany, Uganda, we all want to see a difference in people's lives. So share a story that's going to make somebody smile, somebody who was giving up in life, start to pick up and, oh, say, oh, no, I don't want to go that route that I had chosen.
Right.
I think there was something more that I have to look up to. So
Mhm.
expect Ugandans to share real stories.
Authentic stories of their lives and their perspectives and understanding. Great. Well,
Yeah,
I will look
because they,
forward to hearing more Ugandans, starting with you. I'll go and watch a couple of your YouTubes again, and because we definitely need the voices of all the peoples of the world to come together with all the different qualities and skills and perspectives. Each one has a little angle on the truth. The truth is multifaceted. So it's wonderful what you're doing in your own community, even in your hometown and your country. So I encourage you, I commend you and admire your efforts and your focus too. I wish you every success with your YouTube, and perhaps a few people from this Substack community will learn about you through our conversation today and look you up.
yeah, thank you.
Wonderful to have you here, Muwonge. I love your name too.
Ah,
It feels good in the mouth, Muwonge. I like I like pronouncing it.
mm,
What is the language or the tribe of your ancestors, by the way?
they are Vaganda.
What is it?
Vaganda. Vaganda is like one of the dominant tribes when the colonial masters came to Uganda.
Right.
It was the first kingdom to receive the colonials
Uh,
and
okay.
start civilization.
Baganda, and I think the main language is called Luganda, right?
Yeah, and I teach that on YouTube.
You do? Oh, wow. So we could learn a few words of Lugandese or Luganda.
Esebo.
So
Yes, sir.
how do you say thank you, goodbye in Luganda?
Webale is thank you.
Wewari,
Then wherever is by.
weraba, weraba.
Mm.
Okay, Milwaukee, weraba. Till the next time.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm asking you. I think I've talked about how to condition your mind to think a certain way. Think about that. Maybe we can have some time in the future and we talk about like the psychological stuff. I want to help people free their minds.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times, many people have been enslaved in the mind, like their own minds is leading them to destruction and all of that.
Yeah.
And as a counselor, other than the dreams and all that stuff, encouragement, we can have a conversation with that and
Absolutely.
lead.
Absolutely. Yeah. Freedom is, I think there's a line in the Quran, the holy book of the Muslims, and it's also borrowed by Baha'u'llah in the book, the Seven Valleys. And it says something like, it's like God is speaking to man. It says, you think that you are a puny being, a weak being, puny. You think that you're just a puny being, but within you, the whole universe is unfolding. So sometimes we think that we're limited and that we have no freedom and that we can't do this and we can't do that and we're stupid but actually we have such genius within us. Every single person has their own native intelligence and their genius. So anything that can help bring that beauty and that creativity and that unique genius out into the world is going to set us free, and maybe not just individually, but our whole society could become free.
Can't wait for the opportunity very soon.
Okay, we'll meet again. We'll have
All
you
right.
again sometime. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right.
Have a good night. I think it's about 11 o'clock in the evening there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, bye.